So Microsoft has stated that the Xbox One against PS4 specs is fairly marginal. Who are they trying to fool? But before we get to this video, here's the question of the day. Alright, a Microsoft representative, Microsoft's Australasian Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Alan Bowman, said it's not the power of the Xbone or the PS4 that'll make the difference, but rather the games. So basically he said, we're optimistic about this gen as well. We got a unique value proposition, and from just a pure specs perspective, it's always going to be a fairly marginal difference. The purists are going to argue the toss, but I think it comes down to the games. You're going to see great exclusives on the Xbone, and when you look at the cross-platform games, and then there's going to be exclusive content on the Xbone. This is basically probably an answer to the whole, Sony talking about how the PS4 is the most powerful game console in the world. And really, if you take a look at the specs, the PS4 is a stronger system. It seems to have stronger specs compared to the Xbox One. And it's sold more. Okay, it's leading. And people are just more interested in the PS4 overall. It is important to say that the PS4 has been available in many more countries around the world, though. It's now available in more than 50 countries, but the Xbox One is only sold in 13 countries. That's interesting. See, these stats are always changing. I mean, I would be curious at the end of this year to see which one has the most. I would still argue, I would predict that the PS4 would sell more than the Xbox One. And this whole fairly marginal thing, I understand what he's talking about. It's kind of like the 360 versus the PS3 specs. It's sort of like that. It's in terms of it's kind of sort of similar. There's not as much noticeable difference. I mean, it's kind of comparable. It's not like the Wii against the other consoles. The Wii is significantly weaker than both the 360 and the PS3, and even the Wii U. In this generation, Wii U is significantly weaker in terms of specs. I guess it's just the argument that he used was that it's all about the games. It's all about the exclusive content that they'll have and shit like that. What games? Aside from, what, Titanfall? And that's about it? I haven't heard of much of any, great Xbone exclusives that's coming out in the future. You know what I mean? I haven't heard of anything new or fresh or different that they're trying. I hear there's going to be a new Halo, but it's just Halo. We've seen Halo before. It's been around since 2001. You can pretty much expect, a Halo title and what the gameplay is going to be like. It's like announcing a new God of War for Sony. It's been there, done that. Familiar territory. Do they have anything different or fresh? Anything new? I mean, really? Except for, maybe one title that's to be excited about. I mean, they talked about the games. It's pretty comparable too. They're coming out with the same multiplats. I mean, they're getting the same title. Watch Dogs. I believe Destiny is another one. They're getting the Metal Gear Solid game. They're getting all these titles together. And so what is Microsoft talking about? It's all about the games. It's the exclusive content. You mean this bullshit timed exclusives you guys get all the time? Basically this crappy tacked on thing where you guys get sort of exclusive content first, but then later down the road it's available for everybody else anyway. Yeah, I mean, come on. Xbox One isn't... I mean, it's not far behind, and I'm sure it's gonna do okay. It's doing okay now. But to say that it's fairly marginal is just... They're trying to dismiss the PS4's lead. They're trying to dismiss the PS4's graphical and you know, specs. I mean, the powerhouse that it is, its advantages, they're basically trying to bury it. They're trying to make it seem irrelevant. They're trying to make people like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, okay, I can see they're both comparable, they're both similar. I mean, most people really care more about the PS4. That's just the truth of the matter. It really is. He's right. I mean, it is about the games. But if anything, PS4 has the exclusives. They showed, you know, certain titles, certain games, certain features, like that, or The Order, or whatever the hell it's called. 1888. I don't know what it was. 1888. That looks really interesting. You know, certain games like that. And you know that Sony's gonna have. I mean, Uncharted and all these other franchises, you know, they're going to have something, because they're known to have exclusives. I mean, Nintendo would be in the lead in terms of exclusives, because they're the ones that have everything locked down. All the exclusives. They got all these unique, you know, franchise, but Sony also has those. They got Sucker, you know, Infamous, you know, games like that, Second Son. Titles that they come out of the blue sometimes, like left field. Like when The Last of Us came out for the PS3 last year, I was like, whoa, it just sort of came out of nowhere. You know, they announced it on E3 a couple of years ago, but it's like, okay, that looks interesting. Didn't even know that they were working on something like that. Or Beyond Two Souls, you know, even though that game wasn't well received, they tried something with it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Microsoft is, I think, they're trying to reach for some kind of balance. They're trying to make themselves look better. I don't know. Exclusives. That would be the Wii U, man. The Wii U has all the exclusives. And I take a look at the comment section on this article. I mean, it's no different. Everybody just says the same thing. This guy, Golden Prophet, this guy had a good comment. I own both. At the end of the day, it's about the overall experience. The Xbox One is too gimmicky. When I need to watch Netflix or Hulu, I always use my PS4. I hate how I have to repeat myself 5 times for the Xbox One to finally turn it on. Yes, I've basically done it that many times. And if I have people over, there's background noise, the voice commands are even less accurate. It's dumb. I don't live in a library. The gestures are a total joke. The only thing I turn it on for is the NFL app, since I have no cable. Although I love the 360 controller, the PS4 controller is my new favorite. The PS4's controller is just awesome. This could be a preference thing, though. And what's up with the Xbox One's Netflix? The streaming quality sucks. At the end of the day, you have to look at it like, is this worth $100 more? Because of that bullshit Kinect thing. That's what it is. It's that Kinect. Is it really worth $500? And here's the answer to the question of the day.